Hello world, how are you all doing? I am back and we're continuing our journey on making my CrossCraft app, which you can already see here, which we began yesterday night, to make it available on the Vision Pro. And but there were a few things you can see when I put my cursor, which is like the cursor when I put it somewhere, it's like you're looking at that place when you have the Vision Pro on. You can see it highlights it, but I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can see that there is like, maybe we can zoom in, let's get closer. There we are. Now let's choose this again. Now you should be able to see it as well. This is not following the shape of my view, right? This is like going up there, down there, and stuff like that. This is the highlighting. We need to fix that. Then something we don't have yet is the app icon. Well, let me go back. So how can I turn on home like this? I think so. I want to see the apps. There we go. So you can see the app icon is currently not there yet. It's just a template from VisionOS by default. And we need to provide an extra app icon, which is going to be different for VisionOS. That's what we need to do. And I think those are the two main things. And then there's going to be some rough edges, some small things. And we have actually a list of these things here, like the accent color, for example. If I go back from the whole screen here, you can see this green or this turquoise green. It's not really looking good on VisionOS. It's looking amazing on iOS in both light mode and dark mode, and also on macOS. It's looking quite nice. But here with VisionOS, I'm not sure if this is because we are in the simulator and maybe it looks better when we are in an actual device. But I'm not going to risk it, so I'm just going to improve that. Look at the contrast. You can't really even see the shape of this icon. It's supposed to be something like that, and you can't really see it, and that's not optimal. So I want to change the accent color as well. And that's what we're going to do in this stream. My goal is to basically finish up the application during the stream, which I think should take 2 or 3 hours, hopefully only, to make it ready that I can basically upload it and submit it to Apple, so it can be available if they are fast enough in the review process before Friday, before the release of the Apple Vision Pro, in the US at least. And that's the goal for the stream. So let's see how far we come and let's dive right in. Okay, I see app icon mentioned here, but I actually want to start with the highlighting here. And maybe even faster, we could really quickly fix the accent color. So let me just take a look at the accent color and play around with that. So my basic thinking is that we can see that this white looks relatively good and readable. Are there any blacks here? Not really. Maybe we should make it brighter, more close to white, to fix it here. So let's see what we can do. So here's my project. Let's go to the asset catalog and let's take a look at the accent. So we already have a version that is for any appearance and one for dark appearance. I wonder if it even uses the dark appearance one or the light appearance one. So maybe we can just create a specific color version. This is the universal devices one. Let's see if we can create one for Apple Vision Pro. Oh, I can already see it's using the any appearance one, or at least here it copied that one. So let's just try the more lighter one for the dark mode, because VisionOS, the look of VisionOS is basically the dark mode. That's why, at least for native apps, for the compatible apps, it's basically using light mode, so you can clearly distinguish the native apps from the compatible apps. But let's just run this with the adjustment and see, maybe that already fixes the color. So here we have our app, and let me just, I don't know, it always opens too far away for testing at least. So let me, I have to choose the picker here, select it. I feel like it looks even darker, but definitely not good enough. So let me actually adjust it quite a bit. I go to the color panel, and I like to use the HSP sliders. So if you want to make it brighter, we need to go further to green here. Saturation we need to lower, and brightness we need to make higher. Let's actually make a quite big difference here. Let's see if that makes it look better. And this looks much better. Look at this. This is much, much better. And the contrast is there. I think I will just keep this color. This is a fix here. So accent color not ready. There we go. Let's check all the screens and see if I actually think this red also is not really, yeah, I don't think this has good contrast, but I think I'm not setting red as a color here myself. I'm just telling SwiftUI that this is a destructive button. It's like a semantic thing there. And it makes it this color. So this is something that the system controls. That also means Apple should fix this, I guess. So I will not fix that color myself, but my own color should look better now. All right, that's number one. But the next thing we want to fix is the selection area. And we saw this all over the place. So we have this problem everywhere that whenever I put the button above it, this is like an oval. And the question is, how can we fix this? So I will look up how we can fix this. First in code, I will try just auto completion, just guessing. I think there's going to be some SwiftUI modifier that is called highlight or something like that. So let me go to the topic discovery view, where we have those topics as entries. And I think this is the scroll view, HStack for each button here, self item, topic item view. And there's actually a button for it. So I'm not sure if I need to place it outside the button or inside the view. We'll just see. But this is where the view is being rendered. So let me just try highlight. Is there something with highlight? No. Hover, maybe. There we go. Hover effect. And we can pass a hover effect. Hover effect. What kind of hover effects are there? List row hover effects. Okay, I don't know this out of my head, so we'll just look it up. Somebody probably wrote something about that. So SwiftUI SwiftUI. We're trying to, yeah, VisionOS hover shape, something like that. To customize region, exactly, that's what we're looking for. And the answer is content shape, hover effect, and then you can give the shape yourself and add hover effect. You do need hover effect as a bonus. Your background color radius is 10, so the outer radius should be 20 with a padding of 10 to look nice and matching. Do we just have to say hover effect? Is that it? Maybe it will figure out the shape itself. Let's just try it out. The app is taking long to start. I will actually turn off debug executable, which makes it faster. And oh, okay, this did actually make a change. So if I can zoom a bit more in, we can see it now. It's taking the full rectangle here. I'm just missing the corner radius. So that's why we need also the content shape. And it's pretty much the same thing as what we have here. So this is exactly the code that we need. And I'll put it here. The question is, what is my corner radius? So let me see where I have a corner radius here. 25, there we go. So I will just make it the same. And actually we already have a clip shape here, and now we have a content shape. But yeah, should be fine. Let's see what it looks like. All right, this is looking good. Look at this. Let me zoom even further in, just so we see exactly how it works. Yeah, this looks perfect. Great, so we have learned in the new API that we need to now apply everywhere. I'm just going to look up the places by just playing around with the app. So I know exactly where I need to fix these things. So this is done now. The next place is here. So we have a V picker here. This is an H picker, which is a custom component I built, which I'm going to share open source on GitHub very soon. I think it's actually already open source, maybe we'll see in a second. But let's go to HPicker. Okay, yeah, I'm going to extract this to Handy SwiftUI, which is the open source library, very soon, and then I'm going to document how to use it. But we have here these labels, and they have a clip shape with corner radius 12.5. Basically, this is what we need, right? We just need to make it a content shape. Maybe I should do it before the shadow. Yeah, creating content shape for the hover effect. And add a hover effect. Hover, not hover. I think that was the code, right? Should have copied it, but let's rerun the app and see. All right, I can click here, and yeah, this looks much better. I will zoom in again. Maybe a little too much. Yes, this is exactly the shape that I wanted. Okay, we know it's working now, so I'm just going to apply it everywhere without recompiling each time. And then we will check everything at the end. So let's close this again. I actually want to go back to the other screen where we have fixed it. And I want to move these before the shadow. There's an overlay, con radius. That's the border overlay. I'm not going to do anything about that. All right. So what other places do we have to fix? So this is working now. We have a VPicker. I'm not sure if it's being used, but it's pretty much the same as the HPicker. So I'm just going to apply it there as well. And it's 12.5. Okay. What else do we have? Continue. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah. The button has some weirdness about it, but it's not too weird. I don't know what that is, but I'm just going to keep it as is. While creating, everything is looking okay. Here we have a problem. So this actually, I think, should be the whole square. So not even a corner radius needed there. This is a crossword generation view. Don't forget to add if OS, VisionOS, if those APIs are not available on iOS or macOS. That's a good point. I actually don't know if they're not available. So let me just check the iPhone. Okay, I need to understand this view first. Yeah, this is the view, self.content. And it's a scroll view on macOS, a form on iOS, and it's rendering content body, which is here. If there is a crossword already, and that's exactly the case, where we can hover over it, then we render this crossword view, and that's what needs the hover effect. I think we don't even need the other parts. So the build didn't fail yet, which doesn't have to mean anything, but I could also just check hover effect. I think I even have the SwiftUI companion app installed here, which might have the hover effect thing and make it easy to look up on which platforms it's available. This is just a documentation app, a third-party one, in case you're wondering. But you can see it's not available on watchOS and macOS, so I have to remove it from macOS, but it's available on iOS and on tvOS. On tvOS, it makes a lot of sense. I didn't know it's on iOS as well, but I guess if you connect a mouse, if you connect the mouse to your iPad, for example, I think it's going to use a hover effect, and that's why it's available on iOS. That's my guess here. So all I need to do is check that it's not available and make sure that it's not available on macOS. So I will just do macOS excluded. Which is an extension that I wrote. I talked about this yesterday as well, which is also part of Handy SwiftUI, and this is already open source. So if you want to use this as well, very simple stuff, but it makes it that I can write it in one line instead of writing these 3 lines, which I really don't like. But yeah, that's Handy SwiftUI's helper. And I should search for the hover effects everywhere and make sure that everywhere it's macOS excluded. Mac OS excluded. Let me actually copy this part. All right, so this should fix it. And the iOS version actually building, so we have proof there. And I accidentally built the iOS version. Let's go back to VisionOS. Let's close this. Yesterday I had problems during a stream. I think I don't have enough memory on my Mac here, or VisionOS iOS emulator maybe is not optimized enough. And I ran into streaming problems, actually, really hard problems where I couldn't continue streaming. So I hope it's not going to happen today. Let's check out the UI. Where else do I need to improve that? And it's kind of hanging here as well, but I think that's because it's being simulated. I don't think it's going to hang that much on the actual device. Show clues. This actually has the hover here, but I can press everywhere. So I might want to remove the hover where I have show clues. Let's do that. So I have this label, and this is a specific button I see, which is not really needed in a form, is it? I don't really know how that works, but what I'm going to try is hover effect disabled. Let's see if that makes a difference. Oh, I'm so excited because it was so easy to get my SwiftUI app up and running. It's already running on VisionOS. We're just fixing details, right? I could have uploaded it as is, then the hovers would look weird, which I don't want to have there, but it will work. It will work as a native app, more or less. So let's continue again. Why is it always so small? Continue. What is this part? Oh, it's still there. We have to put it on the button. Let me actually... I can reset the camera here. That's a cool button to have. Nice. All right. It's still there. Okay, I'm not going to bother too much about that, but you can see now we have one here and there, and it's not the entire thing anymore. So I'll just remove this hover effect disable thing. I'm not really sure what the reason is for it to look like that, but that's not really something I bother that much about. It just looks like they're free buttons, but all of them are doing the same thing. It's not perfect, but that's a detail for me that I can even fix after the first version release. So let's continue having a look at what other places we have. And what about this? Look at, okay, I have to really zoom in to show this really well. So you can see when I move my, when I look at one of these, that these are also having some highlight there. So I'm going to go to, I think it's board representation view, maybe. Let me have a look. Fields button, there we go. This is the field view. And here's the board field view. Oh, wait. Actually, this is the button already. So this is the button that we're talking about. And I will just add a hover effect here. And just by adding that, I think it adds a square one, a rectangle one. And it could have already the right shape. And we have to put it on Mac OS excluded. I must not forget that. Yeah, it's still a circle. All right, so a hover effect alone does not help. So let me take a look at the places where we have it. Here we have a standalone, and this is the field. So let me actually give this a content shape for the hover effect of rectangle. This might help already. Not really sure though. And the same for the crossword generation view. Just use a rectangle without any corner radius. Oh, it's just rect, not rectangle. There we go. Let's go back to the other one. Let's see if the rect worked. But I am positive it should work. At least I would expect that. Let's use Star Wars now. Oh. Let's just see. Yeah, look at this. Okay, we still have a problem here. And it might be my problem with understanding how this works. So if I'm somewhere here. Oh, wait. If I'm somewhere here, getting closer, but not really there yet, it's an oval. It's like a circle. If I get even closer, it does the right thing. So maybe I do have to put it outside the shadow. Is the shadow the problem here? It feels like it's already selected, maybe. So let's put it outside the shadow actually. So that's a lot of learnings, a lot of details you need to think about exactly where you want to place the hover. So, oh, there's a padding, that's why, I guess. But that's a, yeah, that's a vertical padding. So let's put it actually at the very outside. So it doesn't select too much. But I wonder if the padding and the shadow, we'll see. Let's just try out. So the hovering system is not that easy to fix, it looks like. I was hoping I just need to add the shapes somewhere, which seems to be true of these hovered custom elements, but also you need to be really picky about what part you need to put the hover on, because there seem to be multiple places it decides the shape. It's really interesting. Do we have the same problem? No, we don't have the problem here. Oh, now, yeah, the vertical padding is not right. That's not right, but how do we fix this? Obviously, I can place this here, but then we have this other shape. Maybe I need to additionally add hover effect disabled here to make sure that it doesn't hover outside, but it does hover inside. Because this is the button, or I think that what makes much more sense is to put the vertical padding outside. But then the shadow came after that. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Let me just try this. This could work. I'm not really sure what the vertical padding was for. If it's for the view inside. This looks all right. Let me test it in detail. Yeah, this looks all right. So these hovers are fixed. Let's see again about this one here. It's still a circle. And this, this is worse now. But at least the hover is there at all times. So I need to fix this. Does it work when I click here? Yeah. It hovers just this place, and this hover is wrong as well. Okay, crossword generation view. Hover. First off, this is the crossword view. We said it should use a rectangle, but it's still making a circle. Oh, it does have a rectangle. Ah, interesting. So it has a rectangle here and a circle there. Do we have like a button inside of this view? Yes, this is the button. What do we do about that? So I have a button. I think I want the button to be clickable, so I actually want to move the hover code from above here down to the button instead. So this should be having the hover, and the disclosure group. Oh, I had this crossword view. It was basically a view builder with two views inside, and I was putting the hover on top of both views. So that's definitely something that can make things go wrong. So that makes a lot of sense. And the disclosure group itself, let's see if this maybe already fixes the issue. Ah, it's still a circle, but we have fixed this now. So this looks all right. How can we fix the circle? So a circle is happening here on this button, although we have given it a rectangle shape. Maybe we do need to go inside. Let's try it. All right. This looks better, but I don't like that the corners don't have any around it. Although when there is an entry here, it could go up to the corner, right? Maybe I just want to add some padding to this so that I can give it some kind of radius. Yeah, I will add some padding for the hover. Can I do that? Just for the hover, adding some padding. We want here. Out radius, padding. I'll just try adding some padding to the content. It will take a little bit more space, but that shouldn't be too bad. So let's just add where's the hover effect? Board representation view, there we go. I'll just add some padding of 10, and then we can say we want to have a rect width. Whoops. We want to have a rectangle with corner radius 8, or should we go 10? No, actually I want to make this 12 and this 8. Let's see what that looks like. I have a feeling that this could look good. Yeah, that kind of works. All right, let's see about these fields here. How's the hover effect? There's no hover effect anymore. What's going on? Ah, okay, it is there. My machine is just too slow. But when I press, nothing happens. What's with that? Okay, maybe the hover effect is destroying something, but anyhow, okay, it is working. It is just very, very slow. Oh gosh, that's so bad. Let's get this a little bit out of the way so we can see the hint. We need to fix the hover effect anyway. That was the problem yesterday with the stream. SwiftUI previews. I see it now, it's hanging again. Oh no. Oh no. Let me kill SwiftUI previews. Let me kill Xcode. Quickly. So the stream was hanging. Am I back? I hope I'm back. That's definitely an issue I recognized yesterday as well, is that when I try build Xcode previews, that my stream is going to have is hanging basically because I guess my Mac is doing too many things at once. Building probably a simulator here and simulator there. Maybe there's also a bug with Apple Vision Pro simulator using too much memory or something like that. But I'm happy that the stream didn't break this time. I guess if I had like a M3 Max, then I would have 36 gigabyte, I think, of memory, and then there wouldn't be an issue like that. But yeah, we wanted to fix the board field view, where we have now a hover effect. Not yet. What was it? Board representation view. Do we have one here? Yes. And it's on the button. Yeah, that's definitely something that is wrong. We learned that it has to be inside the button. And yeah, let's actually try that. I might fix it as well already. How about this though? Let me zoom in again. Nothing happening. I think my computer needs some time. Or we maybe just don't see it because it's already white. That could be it as well. I'm not sure. But at least it's not showing the circles around outside. Oh, something is happening now. Okay, yeah, it is highlighting with white, as you can see here. It has the right shape now, but you don't see anything here because these are already white. So this is maybe not perfect. Maybe I should make this actually not white so you can see what you're hovering on. Yeah, that makes sense. That's like an adjustment. Let's actually go to where I use white. And here in the preview is not important, but when we are in a play crossword view and we create the board representation, which is for playing the game, and we make this white, that's not perfect. So I'm going to just say this should be, how do we make it close to white? We could use opacity, or we just use white like that. And we make it not 100% white, which is 1.0, but 0.95, 95% white, which is a very, very bright gray. Look, now it's much better. So because it's not full white, you can see when you look at one of those, and that's a fix. So that was one of the learnings as well, is that if you are using something that is exactly white, let's actually write that to our learnings. White elements, custom elements, don't play well with hover effects. Make at least 5% gray, which is what we did here. Now we can see the hover. It's a slide effect, but I can't really tell without having the actual device if this is enough or if it's not enough. But it looks like that here as well, so I guess this is enough. So we fix this. Where else do we have hovers that might need fixing? So this is fixed because it's also using HStack and HPicker. This is a native element. Nothing to do here. Nothing to do there. Oh, let me change the... This looks good as well. Let's save and exit. Okay, this is not working. As you can see, the hovers are not correctly shaped in the safe crossword view. And we have a scroll view here. Content unavailable, lazy V grid for each V stack crossword entry. Yeah, I guess the crossword entry contains it. It's a menu with a group, and the label is a crossword view. And this is basically what we need. So I will just put it here. Content shape hover effect, corner radius doesn't have, I don't think it has a corner radius, so let's remove that. And that could be it. Let's take a look. Actually, I should probably connect my Nintendo Switch controller so I can control this better. I'm always using the mouse here, which is not optimal. But we fixed this as well. So let me first try to find the next place we need to fix. Share as image. These work. This works. Oh, okay. Let's see the paywall. Oh, okay. In the paywall, we have a problem here. And here too. This kind of works. Okay, let's work on the paywall. So we have here the button as the stack. And I need to fix the labels. So let's just add it here. Content shape, corner radius. Do we have a corner radius? Corner radius 13. And the other thing was the cancel and continue buttons, which also have corner radius of 13. All right. So I will actually get my Nintendo Switch controller, so I'll be back in a minute. All right. I'm back and letting in some fresh air, which is important. So here I have the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and I have to press this button here to get it into connection mode. Okay, now the cool thing is with the Pro controller, with the controller, I can actually move around here like in a game. You can see now we can really run around and do stuff. All right, that's cool. So how can I hover? Oh, okay. Can move up and down this way. Oh, I have to learn how to control the controller. Okay, but how can I just hover? That's interesting. I'm not really sure how to hover. Okay, I'm going to use the mouse for hovering because that seems to work better. I'm just going to use the arrows here to move around the camera. I think camera control is the most important. How can I move it up? Oh, okay. So these are up and down. This is the camera right and left. And this is the moving camera. All right. Feels more like a game with the controller. All right, so I think the hovers are fixed here. Maybe I could add, for the resource purchases, I could add some padding. So let me just add a padding of 4. Otherwise, this is looking nice. Let's continue. Into the game. Close this. Let's actually click share link to puzzle. This hover works, this hover works. This works nicely. Share as image. These work. This one works as well. Only puzzle. Share and print are working. Print works. Sharing works. What else do we have? I think we're done with the hovers. Cool. Another point that we can check off the list Here, language chooser, we had already documented some language chooser at the beginning. Yeah, when I start the app for the first time, so I have to actually stop this, and I want to go to the vPicker because that's what we're showing there. And we have added this, so this might already work, but we want to see if it works. So I'm going to actually delete the app. And we're going to reinstall it because on first app start, it shows actually a language picker, which uses the vPicker, showing basically the entries in a VStack. And then the next thing I would focus on when the hovers are done, I think, is the app icon. So we need to set up a new app icon style, and I actually have to look it up. I don't know how that works yet, but I have exported the parts of my app icon that I have currently, so we can build a new shape out of them. And yeah, I'm hopeful that it's going to be a thing of 10 or 15 minutes that we are done with the app icon. But we'll see. We'll have to see and learn. And here are the entries, and it works. But I find that there could be some more padding around this screen. Yeah, I'm going to add some additional padding on the, I think that's the main view, which is just showing this vPicker. It already has a padding. I'm going to add a VisionOS only extra padding of 10 pixels. We added a bunch of hover effects, and I actually want to check if it builds for macOS because that was the one where we don't have hover effect support. Okay, hover effect is unavailable, so we do have a place where we forgot to add the macOS excluded. Oh, that was my bad. Of course, it's building the code anyways, so we have to use the if OS is not macOS. Yeah, we can't do the other thing. It only works if the API is available, but you don't want to use it on the platform because it doesn't make that much sense in that case. That's when you use that. But we have to do it this way here. All right, so I can update all the places where we have that. I think this should be the last one. All right, let's try building again for macOS. Now it should pass, and it fails right away because I forgot something. What is it? The new accounts again. Okay, it's not failing because of code. It's failing because of signing issues, and this is my streaming account, so I don't have everything set up that I use on my private stuff for security reasons. So it's normal that it fails, but the target should be building, which we can't test because we cannot target a macOS simulator. There is nothing like that. But this fixes it, and I can finalize the commit. Of course, before I release this version, I will make a bigger check, testing the app to detail. I can only not do the tests for VisionOS. I just have the simulator for that. So that's all I can do there. But let's get to the app icons. So I really want to do the app icon design, and I don't have any idea how that works. So we're going to look it up together. This is VisionOS app icon. Let's see if we can find interface guidelines. There we go, app icon. On VisionOS, your app icon appears as a circular 3D object that comprises a background layer and 1 or 2 additional layers. App icons can subtly expand when viewed. App icons for compatible iPadOS and iOS will appear as squares. It's for more about design, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go into there. And let's check out how to design an app icon for VisionOS. So I've read these. tvOS, I'm also clear. Here we are. Background, layer 1, layer 2. Okay, so the first thing is, what layers do we want to know? Do we want to have? We have the option to have only one extra layer. So I have actually prepared, there we go, a folder where I have the parts of my current icon. So my current icon exists of this image, this image layered on top of the image and this foreground. I was already expecting that there's going to be some depth, so I did these 3 layers. And I think I'm not going to make it 3 layers. Instead, I think the background image and the layer, they should be together to make 1 layer, and the foreground one should be the other layer. I'm just not sure if that makes sense, but we'll see. Let's see what it says. System enhances an app icon's visual dimensionality by adding shadows to convey a sense of the depth between layers and using the alpha channel of the up layers to create an embossed appearance. Use a full bleed non-transparent image for the background layer. Okay. In contrast, avoid using full bleed images in non-background layers. I see. So we should make this somewhat transparent. Provide each layer as a square image. The system uses a circular mask to crop all layers of an app icon, and providing layers that are already cropped can negatively impact the result. Avoid using large areas of semi-transparency. So rather like this than like this. Although using semi-transparent pixels to anti-alias the shape works fine, a large semi-transparent area doesn't blend well with the alpha. Okay, in non-background layers, prefer well-defined edges between distinct regions that are either fully opaque or transparent pixels. So we should not do something like that and just make it hard to contrast. The system-drawn highlights and shadows look best when non-background layers contain shapes that have clearly defined edges. Avoid using soft or feathered edges. I do have a soft edge here because I have some shadow, as you can see, so that might be a problem. I'll see how it looks, and if it doesn't look good, I'm just going to crop the image at these places. Avoid adding a shape that's intended to look like a whole or concave area to the background layer. System added shadow and specular highlights can make such a shape stand out instead of recede. Keep distant shapes or images in non-background layers close to the center. The circular mask can clip a shape or image when it's too close to the edge, causing the shape to look off-center and spoiling the icon's three-dimensional appearance. Avoid using visual elements that give the appearance of depth from a fixed vantage point. If people can perceive the depth of layers in an element from one. Okay. Avoid adding custom specular highlights or shadow to your VisionOS. Yeah, we should remove that shadow. All right, let's see how we configure it. Looks like this. Okay. In the pop-up menu, click the add plus button, use OS variant app icon. Xcode creates a new app icon. Let's do that. Go quick. So I go to plus, and then we say VisionOS app icon. Here we go. We have front, middle, and back. And we just need 2x sizes. All right. And what other sizes? 512. So 124 we need. And I can actually remove layers. Okay. Okay, so I think what I don't need is the middle part. I'll just remove the middle part. I have the back and front. And now let's design actually the icon in Figma. So we need 124, or we can do 512 and export it as 2x, which is also possible. And I'm just going to create a new file here. Let's create a new canvas with, let's make it 124. I like to keep things at 1x. And I'm just going to bring these things in. Okay, so the background, let's just move it here and place it at position 0 and resize it to 124. Let's get the, I think this is the color, which should be on top of the background. Also, same size, position 0. So this is the background of my app icon, basically. So I'll just call this background. And it is opaque. And let's duplicate this. And duplicate, I'll remove these and just put the foreground, which also needs to have the same size. Oh, location should be 0, size should be 124. All right, so this is basically the two layers. And when I export this, I want it to be exported as a PNG. Same here. Show the background. I think I don't need a fill at all. So this is the look. Here, it doesn't matter. I can remove it as well. So we have this shape now. And I want to remove this shadow thing. And I haven't exported the version without the shadows, so I'm not sure if I can remove it easily without a trick. So I'm just going to crop this and duplicate it many times. So we have many versions of it now. I don't know how many I need, but I'm just going to say, let me make this full screen. I'm just going to say I'm cropping it like that. Pixel perfect. So that's that one. Oh, I just need two, obviously. Why am I thinking about how many I need? This is a very basic shape. So that's the first. I can remove the others. And this is the second, where I need to crop the other one. I might actually re-export this. Oops. Yeah, it's the right one. I might actually re-export this on my other account. Oh, we want to get it to here. To get it pixel perfect, because I saw when I really zoomed in that it's not really pixel perfect. You can see it's not exactly right. But mostly here. I could just crop this part as well. No, it's pixel perfect enough. Just need to crop the sides here as well. All right. That's it, I think. So, and this is obviously the foreground. Now export these. Let's export them. Say to the desktop. Very simple. And they're not there. But here they are. So these are the two layers. And that might be it actually. So let's see. That is good enough. The front. Let's actually call it front and back. I need to select it first. That's the app icon, and it doesn't look, you can look at how this behaves. That's interesting. It's definitely adding a background shadow, and actually it's not getting cropped anywhere, so I could just leave it as is, or I could move it somewhere down, but I think this is actually fine, because I want this to look like a crane, which was the idea, because it's crafting something, right? This is the idea of this app icon. And at the same time, it's a crossword puzzle, and it has even the words of the name in it. So yeah, I'm liking it. And this effect is really cool. Nice, it really looks like a button that you put here. Okay, but let's see what this looks like when I run it in the simulator. Okay, the icon isn't here right now. Inherited, front, back. I don't think I need to choose anything here. Can I get back? Oh, there it is. All right, let me get closer. Let's zoom in. Get closer to this. App icon, that's interesting. Let's see how it looks highlighted. So this is when things highlight here. And now my app. I feel like the other ones are changing more. Let's look from the side. Can I turn it? Let's get closer. No, let's get, not like that. Why is it so flat? Look, this is going up like that, like it should. But mine is flat. Okay, so this is not perfectly working, but I have the app icon added basically. Crossword generation, I think we fixed that. We're getting close. The VisionOS app is close to be finished. And there are still things that we can improve. For example, I noticed that on VisionOS, you usually create a new window, which is the same on macOS. You create a new window, for example, for the playing game, so you can resize the window, because you can't resize modals. That's what we learned. You can't resize something that you show as a sheet. And for some reason, I don't know why, on macOS you can. If you have a sheet showing up on macOS, you can resize that. So maybe VisionOS 2.0 is going to fix that, maybe even an earlier version. I should probably report a feedback for that. But I was expecting that you can resize models, you can't resize them. And that's definitely something we need to, I need to consider. Maybe I should use an extra window for the play crossword view, where you can play the crossword, because otherwise you can't resize the window, which you might want to do. If you have like a really large crossword game, you might want to make the window as large as needed. But those are, I think, update improvements. I will improve the app on VisionOS over time, especially if I had a Vision Pro myself. I could definitely test it out more, learn more what the issues are. But I think users are also going to report issues, and then I can just fix it that way. Okay, so what I wanted to see is now if the sizes are fixed, which is the add some spacing and share link view. So if I go here, there we go. Now we have some spacing here. And share as image, same here. Now we have some spacing here as well. And the question is, let me not save it. Do we have the same? Okay, we don't have any stored ones because I created this new app. Let me actually save one. Save and exit. And then let's see if this is also working here. Yes. And there. Nice. Another thing we can check off the list, and the only thing missing now is Game Center GK access point showing, which I can work around by adding a button here. Which just opens the Game Center. And yeah, that's basically what I think what is the last step I need to do before I can release the app. But Game Center adding button, it's not related to VisionOS at all. The problem we had with VisionOS was when we had the Game Center access point, that it was showing for some reason, probably because of UIKit compatibility or something like that. It was basically showing this entire view as empty because it was putting some kind of view on top of it, and we couldn't see anything, even if you didn't press the Game Center icon. So I'm not really sure what the issue is there. I will investigate that. But I will try to update this version as is without the extra link to Game Center. You will earn points for Game Center anyways because it's integrated. You just have to go through the Game Center app to see your progress for this version that I'm going to submit. And I'm going to submit a fix for that right after, or maybe even the Apple review team will complain and they will expect there to be a button, then I will have to add it as well. But yeah, this is the version I think I will try to upload. I'm still kind of confused about the app icon, but I have a feeling that this is related to the simulator somehow, because I have used the I have followed basically their suggestions and created an app icon as they wanted. So this should actually show up, and it does actually also show up correctly as a 3D element here. When I hover over it, you can see it. You see the hover effect there, and this exact effect, it has all the infos to do that. So I think that's a bug maybe of the VisionOS simulator. So I'm just going to upload it as is. And this is basically, the basic migration of my CrossCraft app to VisionOS. And if there are any issues, I will definitely write about it as well. And I might also create an article on my website. So let me quickly mention my website again. It's flying.dev, where I write articles about things I'm learning and about things I'm releasing and stuff like that. So I will definitely share more things here in the near future with my learnings about VisionOS development. I will also share some reusable code like the vPicker and HPicker that you saw in the code, like handy SwiftUI, the library where all those things will be posted. So make sure that you take a look at flying.dev to see these kinds of things. You can also subscribe via RSS. You can go here, for example, for the developer blog, you can just add /RSS to the link, and then you can add it to your RSS reader. And don't forget that I had just released String Catalog Translator yesterday, and I'm also working on that, still continuing working. And make sure to check out CrossCraft. It's also available on iOS, it's also available on macOS. Make sure to play the game if you liked this stream. And all I'm going to do now is basically make a release build, which I need to do on my other Mac user account. I can't do it here because I don't have the certificates and stuff like that. And then I'm going to upload it. And if there's going to be bigger issues, I might actually even stream again, but I'm not really planning to, because I guess there's not going to be big problems. But there will be also a more sophisticated migration to VisionOS where I will add, for example, make sure that this doesn't open as a modal, which makes sense on other platforms, but maybe not here. This might actually open as a window, which is a bigger rework though. And other things as well. For example, when we are in the play game, when we are inside here, where we play the game, where we play the crossword puzzle, when you have finished the crossword puzzle, I'm actually showing a like a confetti effect. And we saw this yesterday in the stream where I completed a Harry Potter puzzle. The confetti puzzle effect was only 2D within this window, whereas on VisionOS, we could use the entire space, the entire room, right, for a 3D confetti kind of effect, or maybe confetti rain or something like that. I don't know if there is even a framework for that. Maybe someone is going to write one. If there is none, we could write one ourselves. So these kinds of things I might do another stream to bring, like, enhance the app on Vision Pro. But I think bringing a SwiftUI app to the VisionOS as an OS was relatively straightforward. There were a few things where we needed to jump between the macOS and the iPadOS version. The second area of a concern were all the hover effects that we needed to add everywhere to make when you look somewhere, that the shape is right with the custom shapes. And we had a problem with Game Center not really working, so that's something I need to figure out. Otherwise, I would say we just had the app icon and everything else just worked. It just worked out of the box, and that was quite straightforward. So I'm really happy, and I'm just going to upload this app version now. And I'm really hoping that it will pass app review before Friday, which is like today's Wednesday. Tomorrow is the last day I could do any changes, and on Friday Apple Vision Pro is already coming out. So wish me luck that everything goes well, and I hope you learned something here, and can maybe bring your SwiftUI apps to VisionOS as well. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, everybody. I wish you all a nice day. See you next time. Bye.